Welcome to SAS Daily Podcast. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. I want to thank you guys for subscribing. We're blessed enough to have an interview with Jeff from Mad River Misfits Bass Fishing, and returning again for probably the 50th or 70th time, Earl Jeffrey Mullins. How are you doing tonight, man? How are you guys doing tonight?
Real good, Seth. How about yourself?
Doing good. How are you doing, Earl?
Doing as good as can be expected, I guess.
Oh, work has you worn out?
Yeah, I'm pretty wore out right now.
Yeah. And Jeff, I couldn't have you on without asking you about your I've already heard Earl's UFO experience, but what is your UFO experience, and what did you actually see it up close or from far distance?
Well, I tell you what it was is when I took that photo, it was in Vandale, Ohio, next to the Dayton International Airport, and I know in that area it's a no-fly zone. So we was having one of those heat lightning storms going on that night, and I wanted to go outside and capture some of that lightning, try to capture it on my phone. And when I did, I was out there probably about 10, 15 minutes and got a couple shots, and it was dark. So I went back into the house, put my glasses on, and looked at a few of the pictures, and really didn't get no lightning strike, so to say. But I happened to notice a light in the sky that I didn't notice before. So I kind of looked at the light and I blew the photo up. And when I blew the photo up, I just seen lights like windows, 2 rows of windows, like it was lights. And I'm like, what in the world? So I go back outside. It was a blurry picture. The first one was a blurry picture. I go back outside and aim it back up in the sky and take another photo and go back in and blow it back up. And that was the better picture that I sent Appalachian. I didn't know what it was, man. I was trying to capture heat lightning. Exactly. That's all I was. And after a while, it kept bugging me, man, what is that? And it's not a plane. It's not a drone, because it's a no-fly zone over there where I was living. And it's only commercial aircraft are allowed in that area. And so I sent it to Appalachian. I was curious of what I caught. And like a day or two later, they sent back photos of where they are running through their filters, it said. And they told me there was something up there, but they really couldn't tell me what it was, so I'm still curious.
Yep. And Earl, do you have any questions for him about UFOs?
No, not really. I just, his tale would be like so many that you hear, you see something and you don't know what it is. And
yeah. And I'm kind of into things like that, just like the Bigfoot and paranormal. I'm kind of into things like that. Since I've caught that,
as a retired ghost hunter, I mean, no, that stuff is very interesting.
Yeah. Now, I believe I sent you another photo of a big red light that I seen in the sky coming off the highway one time. Didn't I send you that photo, Seth, when you first got a hold of me?
Yeah, you sent me you sent me 3 photos.
Yeah, I mean that's another photo I couldn't explain too, and I'm not sure, that's I believe I sent that to Appalachian too. I'm not sure.
So how far are you from Mothman territory?
From where?
Mothman territory.
Mothman, that's up in that's up in Virginia, ain't it? That's Virginia, ain't it?
Point Pleasant. Point Pleasant, Ohio.
I thought that was in Virginia, the Mothman.
No, it originated there in Ohio.
Did it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm from Dayton, wherever that Mothman is from in Ohio.
Yeah, there wasn't there something in Dayton. I'm not gonna get. I won't get into that. I know what's in. I know what's up there. That secret. I ain't gonna say it.
Hey, I tell you what, man, I live not even a quarter mile from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. You know, the Air Force Museum, matter of fact. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm talking about.
Yeah, you see a lot of weird things up here in the sky over here. So yeah.
I've seen a UFO as well, man. It's very interesting. I've never seen a Bigfoot, but I definitely want to. And I know Earl has. And have you ever seen anything like Bigfoot before?
Not me. No. I would love to. I don't get out there in the woods too often, you know. I used to hunt a lot, but not as much. My health ain't letting me do that too much.
Yeah. I know you fish like crazy though.
That I do, man. You know, retired, so hell, why not?
Absolutely.
Fish and run that YouTube channel.
And what is the name of your fishing YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is called Mad River Misfits Bass Fishing.
Yep, that is a.
Hey, I'm not a professional fisherman. I'm not a professional video photographer. You know, I'm just retired military, and I like to go fishing and I like to video.
Absolutely. Thank you for your service, man. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And Joe Biden, you're an idiot.
Yes,
anyways, yeah, man, you
I'm sorry, I didn't know I was.
Oh, it's all good. And I know you and Earl both have seen a lot of stuff like cryptid and stuff. Or have you ever talked to any other witnesses? Earl has actually talked to other Bigfoot witnesses and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of non-believers out there, but you can find some that'll talk to you.
Oh yeah.
Once they figure out you're not going to make fun of them.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's just like UFOs with Bigfoots. You know, there's all kinds of non-believers on every subject, you know, that comes around like that. You know, it just I believe. You know, I think you'd be a fool not to believe that we're not the only one on this planet. You know, we're not the only one in this universe. You know. I think you'd be a fool to believe that there's creatures out there that's been unseen, unexplored. You know, you'd be a fool, I think, to believe that. You know, we're not alone. You know, we're not alone either in space or here on Earth. You know.
Yeah, and I know Earl.
Even deep in the sea too. You know,
yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of this underground UFO bases or underwater UFO bases and stuff like that. I've been watching a lot of this weird stuff on that, and I'm like, that's a good possibility. If they wanted to hide, that'd be a good place for them to hide. You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Earl, didn't you post something today, and a lot of people commented, laughing at you?
Over that circling the grass.
Yeah,
that's wild. I mean, I have no explanation for. We have no explanation for that.
What was it?
In the yard in my right behind here, my place. I live right between. My mom lives right behind me, up there, and in her yard, we've got that Amazon grass.
Yeah.
But in that grass area is a a perfect circle. And I mean, it's not burned or nothing like that. It's just the way the grass is growing. It's a lot darker there in that, but it's in a circle, a perfect circle. So I just made the comment. I said, "Who knows? The UFO could have left its mark, left its mark, or anything." And somebody commented that perhaps we had a leaky. It was a septic system, something to do with the septic system. Well, that house has been there since. Well, now my dad was in the Air Force, and so I was actually born in Spokane, Washington, and then we lived in California a while. We came here because Dad and Mom both is from Eastern Kentucky, but we came home for them here. I was in the second grade, and we was here a couple years, and then my uncle, Dad bought the house from his brother, my uncle, and but the septic system that's with that house is made out of concrete blocks, and I can't remember what the name for that is, but it's been there for probably 50 years, and it's above where that circle is, a pretty good little, probably 30, 40, 50, 60 feet or more above that. So, but that circle is in the yard perfect. And I mean, I have no explanation for it.
There wasn't a well there before, was there?
No. There's a well actually behind Mom's house. We have a well. It's a dug well. We also have a drilled well, which was, it's not working now because they ran, what we call city water,
right,
through here, and we hooked onto that. And the drilled well we had was awful. It had a lot of iron in it and sulfur, and it was always, it'd leave you stuff red looking and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
But that dug well's got the best water ever was. But and like this year, I'd say if man looked down in it probably wouldn't be much water in it because it's been so dry.
Yeah.
But yet that circle is in the yard and have no explanation for it.
That's wild.
It is.
You ever tried digging underneath it?
No. I ain't gonna. The grass is healthy and everything, but just where the circle is, that grass is darker. I could understand if it was maybe some kind of septic line or something like that, and it was coming up. But it's in a perfect circle. How would you explain? How can you explain that? That septic lines is not in a circle.
Yeah, that's weird.
People are going to try to make what you say incorrect just because they don't want to believe there's something else out there because they're not open-minded or anything.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
Well, normally though, if it had been a UFO, I would have thought, maybe that would be that circle would have been burnt. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
But that, it's just weird that that's in a perfect circle, and then it's dark in the circle itself. The grass is in the circle is darker, not in the center, but just the outline of the circle. It's darker than the rest of the surrounding grass. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. Never seen nothing like that in my life.
Yeah.
And
how big a diameter is that circle?
I ain't measured it yet. It's not very big. It's not, it's bigger than a wash tub. I'll put it that way.
That's what I was going to say, about a 55-gallon drum or something like that.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah.
So I have no explanation. So.
Wow. Yeah, that is definitely an odd story and definitely something to keep your eye on for sure. It'd be even weirder if it's gone tomorrow.
Yeah, the thing about it is, it'll disappear. Well, I'm anxious to see because this type of grass, as soon as the first frost hits it, it goes brown. The whole yard's brown.
Yeah, I'd be kind of curious to know if it would hold snow this winter.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching it very close, and then come next spring again when it does go to brown, and then in the early spring when it starts warming up and it starts greening back up, I want to see if it's still there.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of interesting. All this stuff is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Earl, what'd you say?
I've already thought all this out. What I'm going to be looking for when it.
And Earl, I know have you visited that place yet that you was going to for the Bigfoot sighting?
No, well, we're hoping to do it this weekend, but I don't know because way the job is right now, and with the trucks is always so screwed up. I didn't get to take off my normal day off yesterday once again, and I had planned to take off Saturday, and but now the way the truck is, see, we're required to do like cycle counts every week too, so I'm gonna have to do my cycle counts at least, that Saturday morning, and if I can get up with a couple of my buddies, then we maybe can go. Yeah, if not, I'm going to be having to take a vacation here shortly because I'm going to have some dental work done and everything, and so I'm going to be off. And that week that I'm off, if they ain't got me plumbed down with the surgery and all that kind of stuff, then I'll be definitely that week I'll be out for sure.
Absolutely. And Jeff, what is the weirdest sighting of anything cryptid that you've heard from anybody?
Any cryptid? Wow.
That's a tough question, I know.
That is a tough question. I don't think I've ever
or just a story that you hear growing up or something.
I can remember my grandma from down in Hazard used to tell us to stay away from the swinging bridge down there. I guess there was a swinging bridge down the road from where she lived at.
Where'd she live at in Berry County exactly?
It's been so long, Seth. I just know it was a little town in Hazard, man. I really don't
Vico.
I couldn't even quote you on that, man. I'll be honest with you. It's been that long ago.
Yeah.
But
because Vico had a swinging bridge.
That old wooden swinging bridge.
Yes, it sure was.
Vico ain't far from me. Vico's like 10 minutes, and it's close to Earl as well. He works there, actually.
That may could have been. I don't quote me on that, but that may could have been. I remember she was the weirdest grandma, boy.
What was her name?
Selby. Selby. Yeah. Grandma Selby. That's all I remember, dude. I couldn't remember. I remember she dipped that snuff, though.
What'd you say? You remember what?
I remember she dip that snuff. The only woman I ever known to dip snuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Earl can tell you here in Eastern Kentucky that all the old people from back in the day and stuff had Bigfoot sightings for 40 to 50 years, ain't they, Earl?
Yeah, that's fact.
I can imagine. All right there in Kentucky, too, right?
Yeah. Earl, can you talk about some of the stories that you've heard?
Well, like you're saying, the older people, well, this would still be in Knott County up there, what they call Hales Branch. People would say back then, no one was afraid to sleep with their doors open or their windows open. I mean, in the communities, that was just, no one was afraid back then. And there was times though that there would be something that would pass through the community And as it was coming through, it would hit the houses with its fist, I guess. And the dogs and everything, of course, would go crazy. And they said that it would be the awfulest stench ever was that you smelled. So it was Sasquatch. I mean, that's what it was. And a lot of them call it the old man from the woods is what they said it was.
Yeah. And Jeff, do you see any connection between Bigfoot and UFOs?
I don't, I've heard from what I've watched on television how they trying to connect, saying that Bigfoots are extraterrestrial. I don't get that. I don't buy that. No.
Well, the thing about that is, like it doesn't matter which tribe, Native Americans, Indians, whichever tribe that you want to look at and look at their history or lore, stuff in their lore, there ain't a tribe in this country that has not got some kind of tale of Sasquatch in its history. It's in their drawings, it's in their pottery. The pottery they're made, it's their artwork, all that kind of stuff. So, and you don't see, somebody, to me, you're not going to draw something or, talk of something that you don't know about or you haven't seen.
Right.
So, and the Indians actually, they believe that it is a spirit. And it, if you say, well, it's a spirit, if you think along them lines, that would explain a lot if it was in fact a spirit. Or if it was connected with, like you're saying, with with aliens or extraterrestrials or whatever, and it traveled through portals. See, you can get, and there is all kinds, when you actually start researching this, it's mind-blowing some of the theories that people have about this, because Sasquatch is so hard. You're very fortunate if you see it.
Yeah, that's what I say. Some of the theories I've heard on this, it's just out of this world.
And I watched a clip, which I've talked to this clip before, and this guy was military. He was, I think, Marines, if I ain't mistaken. And if you watch the clip, they had him blacked out where you couldn't see his face, had his voice changed where you couldn't hear his actual voice. But he was telling they was out on maneuvers and they had a vehicle, a Jeep or something that broke down. So normally he said they would always leave two men back to secure that vehicle until they come back to get it. Okay. Like I said, he was a marksman. Third in the whole thing, third ranked, he said. So they left him alone, which he found was very unusual. They left him alone. And it got closer, as it got closer to dark, he started hearing something. He said it was probably around 100 yards or so from him. He could hear it coming from through the woods. And finally, it showed itself at the edge of the woods. And he said it was dark in color and it had glowing red eyes. And it started doing like it was threatening stuff, and it started towards him. Well, him being a marksman, he dropped it. He shot it and dropped it. When he went over to check it out, he described the color. It was very dark in color, covered in hair and all this, very big, huge. He said, but it's blood, instead of being red, it was like an oily type substance. And so the next day, when they come back out to get him and the vehicle, he told them, he showed them the creature, and he told them what had happened. Well, there was another group that comes, and he said they was in hazmat suits and all that kind of stuff. gathered the creature up and took it with him. So when he returned to his base, went back, the next day he had a visitor, and he was an Air Force general, I guess, the general. And he basically told him he was not to tell anyone of what had happened and not talk of it. And see, my dad was Air Force. That's what he was. My dad was Air Force.
I've heard that so many times like that, you keep your mouth shut.
Right. Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut. Yeah.
Oh, have you actually been told to keep your mouth shut before?
Not me. No. Not me. No.
But that, what that told me was that this government knows about things like that. They know.
Yeah. How long before you think it will take before the government will finally come out? I mean, it's slowly but surely leaking out now about UFOs and stuff like that. But
Area 51 and all that stuff is starting to come out.
Exactly. How long before you think they'll come out with it all? Just open up and let the people know about it all.
It'll probably be years.
But probably not in my lifetime. Yeah. Especially with somebody like who we got in the house right now,
I won't even go there.
Yeah.
I won't even go on what's going on and stuff. I won't even get on that topic. But all I have to say is Joe Biden is an idiot.
Yeah. Well, my brother says, my brother's ex-military. He sends me clips after clip after clip, all this stuff. And I told him I was kind of losing my patience with it because you really don't know what to believe anymore. But now he has said that for a long time now that he said that Joe Biden he is not in charge. He says, my brother says the military is in charge. Trump is our president. The military is in charge. That's what my brother says. I'm just wondering, about all this stuff because now he sent me a clip that Comey had been beheaded. Hillary Clinton had been hung for treason. All these people, I find it interesting. I don't know what to believe, but I find it interesting that all of a sudden a lot of these people has just basically went off the radar. And like different ones, like Candace Owens, she said months ago that there was a lot of military traffic going between this country and Gitmo. So my brother says that's the military tribunals. There's a lot of stuff going on. He said you're just going to have to be patient and sit and wait because they want the country to get into a certain position where their eyes is open and they can actually see the Democrats for what they are. And then all this is going to start coming out. All this stuff's going to a little at a time because they don't want panic and that kind of thing. And they definitely don't want a civil war on their hands. So all this stuff is going to just slowly but surely, he said, you're just going to have to be patient. And I said, well, and if you watch some of the stuff like Kim Clement, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he prophesied back in 2007 that Trump would be president. If you watch some of his stuff, what he's prophesied, a lot of this stuff that's going on right now, he said that was coming. It was going to happen. He prophesied it. He also prophesied that we would have two presidents. So I'm saying, well, maybe it is Trump is president. And then we got Biden that was crooked. It was crooked, but he's in there. So, we may, who knows, but he prophesied it. A lot of this stuff. He said all the truth. And one of his things says, like you were saying, this is slowly but surely, this stuff's coming out. He said, all the truth will come to light. Everything will come to light.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
It may not do it in my lifetime, but I believe it will. Yeah.
Well, I'm just hoping that, it's because his stuff is, I've not watched all of his stuff, but, I just found it amazing that some of the stuff that he talked about, he prophesized, it's already happened, like Trump becoming president. He said they will attempt to put a witch in the White House. And I know he was talking about Hillary, but I thought that was just kind of, I just thought that was kind of a sarcastic thing. But she actually is a witch. She was a witch. That's in the cabal. I mean, they're part of that cabal. It's evil.
Yeah.
I mean, so, I just was, I don't know. It's just amazing to me, some of that stuff.
But have you had any experts look at your UFO pictures, and what have they said?
You talking to me, Seth?
Yeah.
That Appalachia's the only ones that's looked at it. You know, they ran them through those filters, and like I said, they said there is something up there. They just couldn't tell me what it was.
Yep. Then it is an unidentified flying object.
That's what I would think. So yeah, over a no-fly zone.
Yep.
You know, commercial airplanes only. And it was in the same spot the second picture I took, so it didn't go nowhere. It just was there. No sound. You know, I'm trying to get lightning strikes, and I get.
Was it going fast or slow, or you didn't see it live in person? You just seen it in the photos.
I just seen it in the photos. Yeah, I mean, I could see a little white dot with a naked eye, but when I took the picture, that's all I see until I blew it up. You know, and then I seen like 2 rows of windows.
It's untelling how big it actually really was.
Yeah, it is. To me, it kind of looked like an acorn shape too. And when Appalachian brought back those photos of where they ran them through their filters and stuff, it kind of looked like an acorn shape that way too. You know.
Absolutely. And,
but yeah, they said they couldn't tell me exactly what it was, you know, but there was something there.
Yeah, for sure. There definitely is something there.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So Earl, you're back on September the 1st. Hopefully you'll visit the Bigfoot. Hopefully you'll go on that Bigfoot search then. And what do you got upcoming on your YouTube channel, Jeff?
Well, I just put out a couple videos. The latest one I put out is a video of a big slab largemouth I caught at a pay lake, a catfishing pay lake, and I was fishing for bass and caught a 6-pound, 1-ounce largemouth. Wow. But yeah, go check that out. Go check out the rest of my videos.
You definitely need to come up and visit Car Fork Lake.
Yeah, I definitely love to get out that way here soon, hopefully.
Because now I used back in it was in the early 80s.
Carsford Lake ain't got that good of fishing now, but your YouTube channel will be in the description of this interview.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
What was you going to say about Carsford Lake, Earl?
Back in the early 80s, I don't know now because I don't know if that fish back in that time, that lake was really heavily fished.
It still is. It ain't that good right now.
A lot of pressure.
But back then, I was working at the marina up there. That was my first job. And the conservation people came up there, and you know why they'll shock the fish up and check and see how they're growing and that kind of thing. They said
they just did that to our lakes.
They said that there was several state record bass in that lake, largemouth and smallmouth, both.
Good Lord.
There is some big bass in there, but
hey, further south you go, the bigger they get. That's the way it is. I mean, we average maybe 5 up to 8 pounds here, but down south, you know, you get 10 pounds every day out there, you know.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, man. I definitely want to thank Earl for being on again. He'll be back on September the 1st. And I want to thank Jeff for being on as well. Both of them are UFO witnesses. Technically, we had 3 UFO witnesses with me. But, yeah. you guys have a good night. And I want to thank Jeff for being on. And I want to thank Earl for being on. Y'all have a good night. And God bless.